Yeah, Phil, as we look at this Orlando event, we realize that Omar Mateen, the perpetrator, was on the FBI radar. Twice he was under investigation, and he was actually interviewed 3 times, and it led to nothing. And then now we realize that there's 1,000 people, possibly just like him, on the FBI's radar. We also hear about the problem that even just one state, let's just talk about one state, Minnesota has with these Somalis who are going to fight for ISIS. How big is this problem that we're facing?
Well, not to make it sound worse, but we shouldn't forget the announcement by the State Department not very long ago that they retroactively canceled 10,000 visas, the visas of 10,000 individuals that have come into the country, and they have no idea where they are. You can't just single out the FBI or CBP, DHS, or the State Department. Every branch of the government has suffered a fundamental collapse of its primary mandate. Is it too late? No. Is it fixable? Yes, but it won't be easy. Again, it's going to require the involvement of everyone, at least for a while till we get this thing back on track. I'm not a cynic. I wouldn't be here speaking with you today or taking the time to write the book if I felt there is no hope. But I do know that the longer we wait, the more difficult it will be. And we're not following law enforcement-based counterterrorism policy. We're following a social, civil rights, and civil liberties-based approach that ultimately will not be successful because they have no regard for that. They are not going to respond to overtures and engagement in dialogue and suddenly reform their way. They are going to take advantage of every single opportunity they have to move further into the arena, our country, and then keep pushing after that. It's not an easy thing we face. It's like the debt. What is it, $19 trillion debt? Can we repay that? Not unless we begin to really seriously address the way we spend money. It's the same with counterterrorism. Can we address it? The $19 trillion debt of counterterrorism? Yes, but not unless we address it seriously. Are we able? We can do it, yes. I'm confident there's still time, but we shouldn't waste the time that we have left to address it. Donald Trump's position to temporarily halt immigration till we can sort this thing out, that's a reasonable approach. Because even the FBI Director, James Comey, even the former Secretary of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano, even the former Attorney General, Eric Holder, all said in public, the threat level is higher now than it's ever been since 9/11. We should take them seriously. And another question just on the side. After Mateen was interviewed at least twice, maybe 3rd times by the FBI, why did they close the case? In law enforcement, things are not so shut and open and shut and cut and dry. Cases go on. You leave cases open until you solve them. What were the criteria that led those FBI officers or agents to close the case in the first place? You know, those are the kind of things we need to address. What are the rules of operation for investigation of these kind of cases? We've been hearing this too many times. You know that Enrique Marquez, the man who supplied the guns to Syed Farouk and Tashfeen Malik, is in jail now for multiple failed plots with Syed Farouk. That's plural, multiple failed plots. That means that they were doing this before the San Bernardino shootings, which means what? Why didn't somebody intervene? What happened in terms in the law enforcement arena that they couldn't intervene with this? What happened? And they waited too long. Now those people are dead. And Syed Farouk is dead, and Tashfeen Malik is gone, and Enrique Marquez is in jail. It's a failure.
Well, we know in the case of Syed Farouk that neighbors saw something very bad going on in his apartment, but they said nothing because they were afraid of saying something negative about Muslims.
And if they said something, not only would those people that were killed be still alive, but even the other people would be still alive, and who knows what might have happened in their life if they had gone in a different direction.
And it's a similar situation, too, with Omar Mateen. He worked for a company where his coworkers said that he was saying not only negative things about gays, he was threatening to kill people. They did nothing, and this is in the estimation of one of his coworkers, because he was a Muslim.
And the same thing with Nidal Hassan. So at least 3 major macro cases we've seen in the last few months and years. By the mere intervention of the general public may have very well plausibly stopped it. But for whatever combination of social political reasons, they were afraid to get involved. And that's something we're going to have to overcome. We're going to have to change the equation at the ground level with those as illustrations if we're ever going to effectively, as I said, find the wherewithal to recover ourselves.
Yeah, because what you're saying is that the problem is not only in the political realm, it's not only the Janet Napolitanos who are telling you and others what not to do, what not to see, and when you see something, not to say something, but it's a chilling effect that is actually affecting us on the ground level. It's people like us who are afraid to say that when we see something very dangerous, and it happens to be people who appear to be Muslims, we feel that we can't say something. We're told, see something, say something, but we're not going to say something.
Remember the clock boy? What happened to the teacher when you turned him in? They made a fool out of him. They criticized him, said he was Islamophobic, and they turned the boy into a hero. Now you see why, what teacher is going to submit themselves to that kind of criticism? That sends a message out. This has to be like a strike of lightning. I referred to lightning earlier. Lightning comes from the ground up and from the air down. And if we're going to do this, it's going to have to be a cooperation of grassroots up and our government meeting together to effectively defend ourselves. We can't do it. Both have to be involved. Not just government, not just people, but both working together.